Alright, we are recording. Sorry, just had a small tick in my shoulder. Just Cause 3, keywords provided by Square Enix, right? Sure. Yes.
Uncle Sheldon to Major Rico.
I'm not doing this.
Sheldon to Major Rico. The Black Hand. Ring any bells?
Creepy military dudes, heavy armor, very skilled.
Yeah, that's the bunch. They've been capturing a lot of rebels from Medici and from other places around the world. I thought you'd want to know, hombre, and go save them or whatever. The thing
Yeah,
is,
it's a
we
whatever
don't know
kind of
where
thing.
they detain them. The only thing we found out is that they have a cargo plane on an airstrip in the northwest of Medici. Best lead we got.
Alright. So I did do a 4.1 because it's part 5 that... Oh, that's an... Where were those missions that I did? No. I don't remember now, but I did do this, yeah, this one and that one. I did do that. They didn't unlock anything for me. They weren't enough for that. It was only 2. But yeah, I did do that. Now I'm gonna do this mission, and I also may start clearing some areas. But I also talked about like my predictions for the AMD RDNA 3 announcement, because that was I'm gonna clear this before really getting into it. Because that was the day after. So that happened on I did those recordings on Wednesday, and the announcement stuff was Thursday, and this is Friday. So talk about what predictions, though I don't remember. I will admit I don't remember perfectly what all my predictions were. Hey, that I did. No, I was expecting that to fail. I do remember some of what I said.
Jerks.
That it actually turned out to be true, and I'm very pleasantly surprised by it.
Our town's courage in the midst of insurgency. This Thursday.
Loyal citizens more guns, more men.
Reports of hostiles in the area. All units respond.
Never had a chance.
Because what I was saying, I do remember one thing that I said, because it's generally been my opinion on it,
Find him.
is that if AMD could manage to get within, say, 5% of the 4090, but at a good price, and I think I did specifically say $1,000. I doubted it. But it's like if they could hit that, I was like, they would be in pretty good shape. Yeah, that, and it looks like that is what's gonna work out. Maybe not the 5%. I've seen some people though saying like it might be 10% behind. It's like 10-15%. No, it looks like the 7900 XT will be closer. And I do have notes, but to go through some of the specs. Oh, hello. But yeah, $1,000 for the 7900 XTX. $900 for the 7900 XT, which is inferior in a few ways, but it's still, should be good performance. I mean, it's inferior to the XT. It is also weird at $900, $100 less. You would kind of think that a lot of people would just spend the extra $100. I'm not in a market for that level of performance or price. But if I were, it's like, why would I? No, I would go to the. I would just go to the 1,000. Wow, he took some shots to the head. Reinforcements here as well. Whoops. Not actually what I meant.
Another tool of the trade.
One more jail cell, and I do kind of... Right.
If you see any acts of graffiti or vandalism, report it to the nearest authority. Receive free rations.
There it is.
The General would like to remind you, mandatory calisthenics this Sunday in the town square.
I don't care. Where's the sign? I can... Oh, there is one in front of me. There's also one over... Ah, I see.
All units, find the rebels. Pursue aggressively.
And there.
Locate the rebel immediately. Do not let him escape.
There we go. There it is.
We've lost him. Get back to your posts.
Big mistake, guys.
Alright. So... Yeah, it's... One thing weird about the announcement, and some people point this out, like, you know, it's not just me talking about it. And it is weird. It definitely is. AMD made no comparisons in their presentation between the 4090 and either the 7900 XT or XTX. That is weird. You really would think that they would. They made plenty of comparisons to the 6950 XT, so their current top of the line.
Happy to be able to tell you that in London,
But
Ravello's men are out. Rico and the rebellion are
I'm just gonna let her
So go
talk.
ahead and scroll Pace on the nearby wall. It would feel nice.
Now, I can understand some being tempted to say that, oh, that's because the performance against the 4090 isn't there. It's like, I don't feel like that's it. I feel like there's got to be a different reason. That doesn't seem valid to me as a reason to not show that comparison. Because if you get close, but you know you're at $600 less, you still talk that up.
45.
It's got to be another
To Private
thing.
Bonet, the drill sergeant's inebriation in total confidence, of course. It took less than an hour before most of the platoon knew. Their hatred of Dushku built slowly and dangerously. Each punishment doled out to me cements their loyalty. Soon, a small spark shall ignite this powder keg.
Try to get that out of the way.
All the civilian supporters together. Popular opinion that keeps the revolution going.
Alright, that worked. But yeah, so it's I don't know. I don't know why they would not do that unless it was just. Hang on. Huh, that's a. Hang on. Fan is not happy in my desktop. Just a moment. I don't know if that's gonna come through on the mic, but there's definitely an unhappy motor, but it's got to be like a fan motor. This is not the sound a hard drive would. Plus, when I paused, that would have freed up enough load on the CPU as well as the fans for it, but also the hard drive that it's being recorded onto. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't, unless it was just a decision that, no, we're not going to make the comparisons to NVIDIA, we're going to keep it to just comparisons with us. Which seems an odd decision, but it could be what they make. Mario? Is that his name? Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't even go to school for this, believe it or not. Huh? Look at the hips. Look at the hips.
What are you doing?
I'm hiding in plain sight.
Being embarrassing.
You like?
Try popping more and locking less. A lot of military vehicles around.
It is nice also Rico just having fun.
You ready?
You want me to come?
It wouldn't be Frigo and etc. without Mario Frigo.
Yeah. Still a military vehicle. Something armored, maybe. But not a plane or helicopter. I'm still woozy from all the hip shaking. Eh? Hey, and no tanks. I'm somewhat claustrophobic.
Yeah, getting to some of the specs though, the XTX is going to have 96 compute units in it, which is a lot. I don't remember how many are in the 6950 XT, but that is, you know, more than the 6950 XT. 24 gig of GDDR6, which is not bad. I don't think that most people would ever have a use for that. You getting in? The XT, by the way, will be 84 CUs and only 20 gig.
Oh, I like this ride. I come for the armor plating, but I stay for the comfort of the faux leather seating.
The XTX, despite being the, you know, more powerful variant, only 335 watt total board power.
I require a security detail. Transmitting location now.
Which AMD definitely had fun with.
Let's not let him die.
Because they, well, we'll let him talk.
No one likes working for Di Ravello. Plus, Dima says she promised him $5 American. $5 million? That's what I said. Millions. Nico, hurry up.
Alright. And now we're gonna get talking.
I am Dr. Zeno Antiquera of Di Ravello's Bavarian Corps. I must reach the armed resistance. It is my
Noise is already gone from the fan.
Are you my security detail?
Security detail.
I am Rico Rodriguez. This is Mario Frigo on the... Mario, take the car. Zeno, can you fly a helicopter?
If I must.
Good. That'll give them 2 targets to shoot.
Targets?
Yeah, I mean, that's just bearing in the fan. Okay, that's all.
My associate Dima promised you would facilitate my escape to the United States. I require a standalone home in an affluent...
I've got a counter offer. You don't die.
Can you really help from there?
So, Doc, you're a scientist, huh? What do you study?
I study Bavaria. But the general wants his science
To create nothing but weapons. He tortured me, and he's killed some of my colleagues. So, I must defect.
We'll get you out of here in no time.
Oh, man, this turns so slow. Oh, there we go. Whoop.
Zeno, you're clear, but watch out for more SAM sites.
Whoop. That's not good. Whoops. I wasn't expecting that to happen. Obviously I wouldn't have done. You know, I'm probably gonna have to get used to that fan banging noise. Probably just because it's a little bit colder, and sometimes that happens. The lubricant in some of these fans isn't that great.
Ser Sabrico, eh?
It is also like legitimately one of those things
Not going to make it!
where
Don't worry, Doc.
ooh,
I'm on
okay.
the job. Enrico's here too.
They'll kill me!
Hey, we've been through a lot worse.
Oh, that's very comforting.
Yeah, Rico, hang on. Rico, give them off me! This thing ain't doing so good!
Heads up. There's another SAM.
Hola, Rico! Reinforcements
we go. If I'm not shooting vehicle, then that thing's very much over. Come back to the specs. 2.3 gigahertz game clock, they were saying, for the XTX. 2 gigahertz game clock for the XT, which is mildly unfortunate, because that isn't a clock speed increase, but they've still achieved a lot there that it looked like on the low end, you can expect like a 1.5 performance increase for, well, compared to the 6950 XT. But you can expect up to like 1.7, 1.8, depending. Which will bring that to like around the 4090 level, a little bit lower. In some cases it'll probably match, but in other cases it will be lower. But it's $600 less expensive. No wonky power adapters.
And then
That's really nice.
To General Dirello if you want.
Jima, you detestable harpy! You tricked me again.
And obviously, you know, that there is the question of, you say, what about the lower end? That's not the question, is it? But it kind of, don't you hate when you have the idea for something to say and then it just goes away? I mean, that definitely. Right? There we go.
What's happening out there? Respond immediately. Reports of violence in the area. All units converge.
I'll just put this right here.
Okay. I honestly wasn't sure if that would be enough. Be enough explosives, because sometimes it is a weird thing where it's
Additional support has been approved. Reach your location shortly.
Sorry, just needed to get out of that. Huh, there's an incoming enemy helicopter. Yeah, sometimes there is like a
Find the target as soon as possible.
the plating on the thing for the power boxes there actually do stop explosives until you rip.
All units on alert. Re-establish visual contact.
Nico, we use these races to train our rebel pilots. Give it a shot.
Alright.
Your marks may inspire our pilots to improve, and you might learn something yourself, huh?
Alright. Should be one here. And actually, I really should look to see where is the next actual mission. That's a DLC mission. Huh. Maybe I just don't have another mission yet. I'll come down here in that area. Well, that's also fine, though, because it allows me, potentially, to...
Oh, did I do that?
Whoop. Ah! That wasn't good. Allows me to potentially just spend some time talking.
Target is at large.
Yeah, spend some time talking, then immediately stop. I'm just trying to think, what all do I want to say? I mean, I am intrigued. I definitely want to see the third-party benchmark. Because there is, I think, reason to have hope in good potential. There's certainly some aspects of the...
All units, fan out and search. Sending additional reinforcements to your location.
There we go.
This is dispatch. Sending ground reinforcements to your position.
Seriously? I really want to get that thing.
Dispatch. Target is still at large.
There we go. There's still one more? Where? I need to stop with the umming, don't I? So yeah, I mean, it's the same old, gotta wait for third-party benchmarks. I do think, though, that the conclusion will be that the 4090 is still going to be overall faster, but it is also going to take more power. It will potentially run hotter. It's not going to fit in as many cases. Because the referenced version of the 7900, the XTX even, is still a 2-slot card. So it's like it'll fit in most any cases. It is apparently longer than some. Just only open up the gate. Apparently longer than some, but that's not necessarily that big a deal.
Choppers are inbound. We repeat, choppers are inbound.
Okay. I gotta figure out what else to
Reinforcements
I need to do, though. Because I don't quite recognize some of the Okay, that's definitely one to blow up.
All units on alert. Re-establish visual contact.
I mean, he brought it to me. Ah, there it is. What is this last thing? It doesn't show up there.
More forces en route to your position. Eliminate that target now.
That's a tank. That was it. Oh no, it still is a tank. Now it's no longer. Oh, wait. That's not good. Ah, there you are. Yeah, I'm not sure what all I have left to do in here.
Elite deployment authorized. Squad inbound.
Huh.
Dispatching chopper support to contact.
I just do not recognize what that symbol is. Possible I got something down here to do? No, because that's considered out of the area. Whoa. Haha. I think I actually managed to hit it with the heavy missile even. There's something there.
Authorizing elite squad deployment at your location.
Yeah. Let's land this here.
Initializing search
I
protocol.
mean, that's just
Find the target as
nuts.
soon as possible.
Unfortunately, the sniper doesn't count for the searching, but you know what? Actually, there. Yeah, my guess for the 7900 XTX is it will be generally reviewed very favorably. In part because it's just going to be a it works kind of thing that the 4090 doesn't quite have. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Because of the whole, oh yeah, you need to have, you know, this crazy amount of,
All units, fan out and search.
you need to have, you know, the 4 different PC 8-pin connectors for the adapt. Well, actually, no, only 3 are necessary. But it still is, and it's like, yeah, that has performance crown. Probably gonna keep it, but it's not like it's it's not gonna be the best product for a lot of people, I guess would be one way to put it. But the 7900 series, that might be the best product for some. Alright. This is just not a good. Oh, there's another one there. Like, I need to hide. I need to clear this.
Find the rebel. Pursue aggressively.
Nothing good is gonna come from my stick around right now. Something better hidden. Yeah, performance, it'll probably be, it's I was saying, it'll be 5% behind me. Ah, son of a...
Damn, that's hot.
Fine. I'm just gonna take this and fly off.
Be advised that chopper support is approaching your location.
Seriously, we got another one.
Additional ground forces to your location immediately.
Hey, that one hit it.
Target is at large. Re-establish visual contact immediately.
Alright, there we go. See, I could see it being the 7900 XT or XTX being more this is the better decision for a lot of people.
Target has left the area.
That even the 4080, because at $1,200, the 4080 16 gig, I think it's reasonable that it's not going to beat the XTX. Which, you know, then kind of, you know, forces the question of, well, then why would you buy it? Okay, yeah, sure, there's the potentially better ray tracing. Potentially Well, there's the DLSS stuff as well, but I'm sorry, at that level of performance already, unless it is a no, I have to game at 4K kind of thing, and it's, you know, I'm willing to compromise on the image quality if I can just have frames. I don't see who that's really gonna be for. I don't think DLSS 3.0 is, with the frame generation stuff, is really a thing to have too much interest in. Where is this? Oh, it is something to do with the police station. So that's over here. It didn't seem like there was anything left to do. Just generically wreak havoc. Doesn't seem like there's anything here. Yeah, I'm not sure. It does. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's anything extra I need to do.
These babies stick to anything. Nice and clean.
Come on. There we go. What is that noise?
Understood. We are providing additional manpower at your location.
Oh, is it? It's just them. Just this one. Oh, wrong.
Guerrilla activity. Full contact.
Although, hang on. Actually, I don't know this.
Air support to your location.
Actually, that one will work. Yeah, they're amusing, but they're really not that practical. I've got no idea. And I know I keep getting distracted talking about the news stuff. And well, yeah, so there is one thing that I do want to talk about. It's on my list. I did kind of touch on the related topic with DLSS 3. So AMD did also announce FSR 3. And that's about all they did. I mean, seriously, that pause was not just I stopped talking. That was no, I was intentionally not saying anything because, like, what is this? I mean, they talked about fluid mode. No. Yeah, fluid motion frames, which... Are we talking about a frame generation system? Like, what DLSS 3 is? Because, honestly, I'm not going to care about that. I don't like the whole idea of let's just, you know, make up more of it. I mean,
Come on.
machine learning is by its nature guesswork. That's legitimately what it is. It tries to find patterns in large data sets, and then it guesses, based on those patterns, what the answer to some problem is. Okay? Now, with DLSS, it has to do with imagery. But it's like DLSS 3, it's having to guess a new frame in there. Oh.
Tanks are inbound to your position. Group support inbound. Hang in there, ground team.
Alright. There we go. Whew. This was a weird one. Yeah, so AMD might also be doing this frame generation thing, which I kind of hope not, because I don't feel that the
One town.
what I've seen concerning DLSS 3 is something to be like, yeah, let's do that too. That might be it. I'm just gonna head over in general direction. Yeah, so it's just, that's not where I would be spending my time. But I guess if you want to have feature parity, you gotta do that. But then it is also kind of funny because, like, well, AMD is potentially pulling together at least something here in weeks. Now, true, it's not.
Friends of the rebellion. I'm very pleased to report that the town of Serpico is no longer home to Di Ravello's military forces. Fight on.
FSR 3 is not going to release until sometime next year. They didn't even give a estimation for when. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where this last one might. It's I can't do that mission. Oh, come on, really? Can't do that mission yet, but at least I can try clearing the installation. But yeah, so it's. I'm hoping that's not it, but at least with it being Fidelity FX, because that's what the F is, FSR, Fidelity FX Super Resolution, it will ultimately be open source. Will it be supported on more than just RDNA 3? That does get harder to say. What? Thanks.
Well, that will help perception.
I think we know why this is not somewhere to be yet. Right there. I had no warning. I didn't. I was like, it's supposed to be putting stuff on the ground. That did not happen there. Anyway, I need a drink of water.
Let's do this.
How long have I been going? I can go a bit longer, but let's not worry about that. Yeah, let's come down. This will be fun. Oh, I can just fast travel. That'll work nicely then. Yeah, so we'll have to see. RDNA 3, they do have, in the Unified Compute Unit, the ALU parts, well, 2 SIMDs. It's single instruction, multiple data. And it's kind of interesting that they are doing that because, as I saw one place point out, that while it can allow for improved parallelization, it also might not really work. You might not have that parallelization actually available all the time. That you'd need stuff to be actually optimized for it. Which is still interesting because it could mean then that there will be a fine wine type scenario where the hardware supports for the optimization that just give it enough time for that to actually occur, would become more the norm, and you'll have it. And it is, I don't remember where it was, I saw somebody saying that Ada Lovelace also has such a design, so it's not like it's oh well, we have to optimize for AMD. It would be optimized for the new hardware. Where was the shop? Jeez. I think I see where it came from. I think that's it right there. Yep. So, that and that. Yeah, we can just, go to town here. Didn't get that one. That's the one I had. Oh, that is.
Up it goes.
Little bit. Yeah, so they unified shader, which is going to be interesting because what that will allow for is like some shared resources as opposed to everything having to be separated. And that does have certain potential. Just to make things easier, certain things will communicate with each other a bit better, stuff like that. The 2 SIMDs, which that the place I saw pointing out one weakness there, that the whole you actually have to have instructions that can go to both for that to be taken advantage of. Also made the point, though, that in theory the performance improvement, I think this may have been an Antec file, that in theory the performance improvement from this design would be, oh, can't aim that far down. Would be on the order of 2.6, but AMD was only claiming 1.7x increase. Which, just, that is interesting, because that does mean that they are even aware that this is not necessarily a thing that's going to have an immediate improvement. But, as I was saying, it could be well, with optimizations, it will be able to reach towards that. So, yeah, that will be interesting. One thing that is kind of unfortunate, nothing suggesting what AMD managed, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a really neat thing. where in theory, the GPU would be able to, Lovelace GPUs, in theory, like, reshuffle some of the shader work so that it's done in a more efficient scheduling. I was like, that truly is kind of a game changer. Hopefully AMD will achieve that. NVIDIA described that as a hardware level feature. I can believe some of that can be done in software though, so perhaps it's something that even if AMD hasn't been designing something that would be able to achieve that, maybe it's something that can still be achieved. Or maybe it's something that AMD doesn't have to worry about. I don't know. We will just have to wait and see on that. But also part of the CUs are 2 AI accelerators, which I think was in the Phoronix comments, somebody declaring that those were tensor cores. It's like, oh, finally AMD has tensor cores. It's like, that's not necessarily what they are, and I don't remember AMD specifying exactly what they were either. But it's like, you don't need tensor cores to do machine learning. I mean, it's just that is a fact. Tensor cores help with a kind of machine learning, but not just generically all kinds. I mean, trust me, if that were the case, AMD and Intel would have had their own tensor core things a while ago. But no, it's only for certain kinds of machine learning that tensor cores are useful. I did not realize that the thing kept moving, by the way. There we go. But they did also talk about, with the AI stuff, them having new instructions in there, which RDNA 2 was also capable of doing machine learning. It did not have any tensor core-like thing. But it's like, yes, they talk about new instructions there, which in theory would mean just that there's certain specially optimized code paths in there for a specific operation. So that may prove interesting for what that will ultimately be, especially. I mean, it isn't part of the CUs; it's part of the media engine, but they have integrated some of the stuff that Xilinx did previously, which that's the FPGA company that AMD purchased a while ago now. And they did talk about integrating that in some of its work with AI enhancement for video encoding, like recognizing text so that it is better encoded. That is coming, but that, as I said, is part of the media engine. So it is just a little interesting as far as it's like what other expertise Xilinx has brought to AMD that they might be integrating into the GPU. I see you. that is something that I am curious about. They did show a demo, but it was kind of a biased demo, because they were comparing X264, which is very good, CPU encoding though. I mean, it makes sense to do the comparison there, but it was X264 versus AV1, but they were talking about the AI enhancement stuff. It's like, I mean, yeah, it definitely did improve text quality, but I don't, by using a different codec, a different encoder, it's hard to say how much is from the AI enhancement and how much is from the better encoder. There is, by the way, AV1 encode and decode. RDNA 2 already had the decode, as some pointed out. It will be and they've partnered with OBS. They're now a diamond level partner. So it will ultimately have support. I don't remember what they said for when that would be. It wouldn't surprise me if come December 13th, when these release, we don't yet have full the OBS support. It's also very possible. It's just I could see it potentially taking longer. Oh, there is another.
The commander of that base is in that chopper. Take down the chopper and kill him.
I have a better idea. There. Let my new AA take care of it. How much longer? Ah, there we go. I'm sorry, but it is just... this game does bring a smile to my face, which is also part of the reason why I am enjoying doing what I'm doing with just clearing these areas out, because of how it unlocks challenges so I can come back and do those. They're going right by. Ah, it's right there. Seriously? Wow, that thing took... It had taken a lot of hits. Alright. Sorry about one. Oh, I guess, okay. I know I'm running out of time, but I want to at least get this, because I know this is a military incident. Because I had, you know, flown by it, you know.
Hello, citizens. Portavina has been relocated to an as-of-yet undisclosed location. So, don't be surprised if you don't see it over there anymore. Yes, or in a day's work at Medici's Department of Beautification. My prison cell can use some beautification. Viva Medici!
Whoops, that's not good for me. Perfect. Oh wait, no, that didn't. The heck didn't. Still red, not blue. No, it must have, because I can't still hack it. not there yet. Maybe not. Okay, I see that. And also this. Where did I go? I was not expecting that.
Nice and clean.
Well, this looks promising. I did also have a feeling that this one could be a little quick. It wasn't that big, not at least compared to the port, but not much is as big as the ports in this game. Oh, wait, hang on. There we go. Nope. Sorry. Oh. Oh, there's another one over here. I was thinking, weren't there two that I saw? But I wasn't sure where they were. Where the second one was.
These babies stick to anything.
Alright. Let's take this up. Oh, there was still one more. There was still one more. There was still one more. There we go. And again, one more.
Try to bring down a police commander's chopper, Rico. He can't be allowed to escape.
Finally. I'm trying so long to get back to this. Alright. Remember if this works.
this right here.
Alright, it's all right by me, supposedly. And at least I've got... Oh, right. That really shouldn't be it. Maybe that... It does think that's it. I mean, that looks already blown up, right? You know what? Oh! It's underneath. Yep, there's a cave.
Sending air support to your location.
Yeah, air support is not what you want. Yep, right here. I thought those were explosive. Oh, you know, is now.
And
Alright. That's where I'm gonna stop. With plenty of the challenges to do in a 0.1 video at some point. I'm sorry, it's nice to give myself an excuse to playing the game. Hey, that bearing noise has already stopped. So yeah, there's also one thing about bearings is that sometimes you just let them go long enough, the lubricant gets moved around, so it works. Anyway, I'm gonna look at the notes. Let's see. Oh yeah, that thing, that is actually pretty neat. AMD also, and this is part of the RDNA 3 architecture, they decoupled some of the clocks. So this is something that I believe a lot of people don't realize, and I'll try to be quick with it, is that, well, like in a CPU, there's a base clock, right? Typically, it's 100 megahertz today. It used to vary more so, but at least like AMD, that's 100 megahertz. And then like the gigahertz speed is a multiplier applied to that, but that megahertz speed is used for other things as well. It is a reference clock. Everything is referenced against that. So if you increase that, then that'll increase the RAM speed, that will increase PCIe connectivity, which is a reason you don't do it. Because sometimes you start increasing that and it ends up making a whole bunch of errors for you. But that's also going to be true within a CPU. You do see this on Intel where you've got AVX offsets, where it'll actually run the AVX portions of the CPU at a lower clock speed than the rest of the CPU, because AVX can take a lot of power. So it's a way to help balance that out. At least that is my understanding. I may be wrong there, but it is still that idea. You could run AVX at a different clock speed than the rest of the CPU, of an Intel CPU. So AMD has decoupled the shader clock, which that's basically the main computational part of a GPU, and the front end clock. So that's what is going to be responsible for feeding everything into the CPU. So this will allow the shader clock to be, I think they said 2.3 gigahertz, while the front end is at 2.5. So that means that it'll be better fed, but by dropping the shader clock, you're going to reduce power consumption. They were saying by 25%, which it seemed like to get that 2.5 gigahertz, it must be really high up on that voltage frequency curve. So pulling it back even a little bit, yes, it slows it down, though that much of a change you might not really feel it. But yeah, 25%, that's possible. So it's kind of a best of both worlds thing there, and it will be interesting to see how they may expand on that in the future. Having more decoupled clocks there potentially to better optimize performance and efficiency. Yeah, that's just one of those neat things to RDNA 3. What else? Yeah, I guess it's just that, because I did also have the note there, because in the 4.1 video, when I was talking about how, it's like, what'll make NVIDIA bleed? And I was saying, getting within like 5% of the 4090, but at a much lower price, like $1,000, that'll make them bleed. But also, it's going to be, so this might achieve it. But it's only, we were talking about Halo product versus Halo product, so it's like, it's going to be enough for NVIDIA to be concerned about their 4080. Because at $1,200, that probably is going to be outcompeted. It's like, all they'd be able to say is, oh, well, we have better ray tracing. The majority of games don't have ray tracing or don't need it. We got DLSS. There's FSR 2, which is still very good. I mean, but we've got DLSS 3. Yeah, that's not helping with latency. Has a whole bunch of weird issues. I mean, it's like, you can very much justify saying no to the more expensive 3080 for what might very well be a better performing 7900 XT. So NVIDIA might bleed there, but really it's going to come down to what the lower end is. And this may be a good thing, in that because of AMD putting the Halo product at $1,000 and its lesser sibling at $900, that's a lot of downward pressure for reasonable pricing lower on the stack. Like a 7800 XT at $800 would make no sense. Because it's just like how, who wouldn't buy the XTX if they're looking at the XT? It's only $100. When you're talking about $900 versus $1,000, $100 isn't that big a deal. Why not? And it's not like, hey, I need a better power supply or something. It's like, if you got a power supply that'll handle one, it'll probably handle the other. So $800 for the 7800 XT, I don't think that would make sense. You'd have to be lower. $700 might make it tempting, but you might be pushing more into like the $600 to $650 range. It is just my hypothetical thinking. So then where's that put the 7700 XT? Well, if I am accurate in 7800 XT, that series, the 7800 series, is in the $600 range. And it can, not just around 600, but, up to 650. So, like, $600-$700, but not 700. I think that would then have to push a 7700 series down around 400. Which would then mean the 7600 series should be in the $200 to $300 range. And if they just don't screw it up there, like they make sure that has a good amount of RAM, they make sure it's at a good price there, but also that make those good 1440p cards. Like, I'm not talking 1440p at 144 hertz. Let it be for some esports titles, it'll hit like 120 to 144. But for the majority of games, it's like, no, we're just hitting like 60 at 1440p, or a little bit better. Like, if you can hit 70, 80, 1440p, you do that and put that in the $200 to $300 range, that'll be amazing. That will sell. Now, NVIDIA, because they've not announced anything yet, they could do the same. So it's definitely interesting. It's like they've traded blows that are both meaningful as far as showing potential, but also meaningless because it's a Halo product. So it will be interesting to see how NVIDIA responds once they announce the 4070, and then how AMD may respond with the 7800 series. So this is definitely interesting. But AMD right now, I think, does have the advantage in that competition because of the pricing. And the legitimate expectation should be 7900 XT and 7900X are going to be in the 4090s ballpark. Lower, yes, but in that ballpark. And probably both be able to beat the 4080. So NVIDIA's pricing is probably going to end up looking bad. But NVIDIA can't do much about that for a while. They can't lower the MSRP. That is going to be too much egg on their face. And NVIDIA, they are somewhat egotistical. I'm just like, let's be honest, they are. So now, to be fair, that's only at the high end. Like at the top end, my impression is definitely, the executives making some of these decisions, they're egotistical. The actual employees, I have no comment on if they're egotistical or not, because why would I? I mean, it's like they're probably just regular people that love their job and are doing fantastic jobs. I just think that their management isn't necessarily that in tune with consumers. I mean, remember the whole thing with the 4080 16 gig and 4080 12 gig. That's a terrible decision for consumers. And that would have been management. That would not have been anybody actually designing those GPUs. But that's what I mean. That they were egotistical, thinking they could get away with that. So yeah, AMD. It will be interesting. The 4070 is going to be the biggest. Is going to be the biggest question. Is where they're going to price that. Because if they end up pricing that lower, so that they can have it price competitive with a potential 7800 series, that could end up leaving such a gap between the 4070 and 4080. Now, true, they could just do a 4070 Ti, but it would start inviting the question of, is the 4080 overpriced? Is the 4090 overpriced? And that's just, NVIDIA's going to be in not good position pricing-wise this generation, it seems. One way or the other. They might be able to figure something out so that they can save face and still drop prices on the high end. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll also be interesting to see what comes with the future of RDNA 3. Will there be a 7950X TX where they refine stuff? Maybe. But honestly, I could also see RDNA 3 being such a change from prior GPUs, because it is chiplet based, that they might decide, we're not going to do a refresh to this. We're just going to try to push straight to RDNA 4. Where it's like, hey, we have this figured out. Now we're gaining more information. Now we're going to just apply that into this next thing. I could see that happening, that this being a relatively short generation, or at least a non-refresh generation, to get straight to RDNA 4. It's just that makes some sense. That they wouldn't do a refresh. But then there's also, RDNA 1 wasn't refreshed, RDNA 2 was, but Vega wasn't a refresh and did not. Well, no, Radeon 7 wasn't really. It was a single standout product. The RX 590 was a refresh of the 580, yeah, but that was again a single product. You have to go back to like the R9 300 series and the R9 200 series. Where the 300 was kind of a refresh of the 200. There were still architectural improvements, but it was still very similar. So you have to go back that far for AMD. And NVIDIA hasn't really done. Well, I can see an argument that Pascal is a 14 nanometer refresh of Maxwell. Because there were a lot of things, like, I think some people did do it, and it's like if you matched clock speeds, the performance was nearly identical between them. I mean, it was still better, but there is some ways to argue it was a refresh. But yeah, no, NVIDIA, mainly when they do the refreshes, it's just yeah, that's true, the 2000 series, the 20 Super Series. I want to say 2000 Super Series, but that's not right. And the TIs, to a degree, like the 1070 Ti, that can be described as a refresh, potentially. So they do that stuff. But yeah, I could believe that AMD, just because, and I'm only coming up with that hypothesis, with that guess, based on no actual information, other than RDNA 3 is such a new architecture. I could see a decision being, we're not going to refresh it, we're just going to move to the next thing that has been improved based on everything that we've. I'm also just trying. Yeah, I guess AMD did do refreshes of Zen 2, because there were there were XT versions of some of the series, not all though. Yeah, I guess it does just come up every now and then, because Zen 2 would also have been one of those major redesigns. So yeah, I guess, there is a history of doing that, even with very new architectural design. So maybe AMD will do refresh. That is more reasonable now that I think about it more so. But it still is. It'll depend so much on where the development is for RDNA 4. Like, if it's well enough along, then they might decide to just do that. But I guess, no, refresh is not that far out of the realm of possibility. I say this while it's like we literally just had these things announced yesterday for me, 2 days ago for you. And none of them are going to be out until December 13th. Yeah, that's how I do. Would I buy one? I think I kind of started to answer this earlier. Would I buy when the 700 XTX? Because as I said, why would you get the XT if you could just go to the XT? No, because right now I have no real use for that level of performance or spending that much on a GPU. But at some point, I do want to do, a new desktop that would be like a new Threadripper. At that point, I would be probably also upgrading my monitor. Would I go to that level of performance? It would depend. If it's like why not just blow the wad? But otherwise, I would probably look more at the 7700, 78. Well, the 700 level performance is the 800 level performance. More in that range. And if it's the 7000 series or it's the 8000 series by then, whatever, that is probably what I'd do. I don't think I would go to but that's just my own needs. I don't need the level of a 7900 XT or XTX or the level of a 4090 or the coming up 48. That's not the level of performance I need. And I know that, so why not save the money? Alright, certainly been blathering on enough, so I shall stop this so I can get it processing and uploaded. See you next time.